If you take a look at one of my videos, 50 web design mistakes, link in the description, it outlines 50 what I believe are mostly user experience mistakes. Some viewers in the comments thought that these 50 mistakes were basically my opinion or artistic perspective on the way I personally approach website design, or something along the lines of how constrained they would be if their design were to follow such rules. Well, those people are wrong. How good a website isn't just up to the personal interpretation of the user. Websites are not abstract oil paintings where everyone's opinion is valid. Websites can have aspects that make them factually worse or better for everyone. And so in my 50 mistakes video, I believe that all the 50 mistakes, apart from maybe 3 or 4, directly hurt user experience. This is not my artistic interpretation. This is just some basic rules a website can follow that just make it better. Such as, your navigation should probably be at the top of the page, not the bottom. Or you shouldn't have a background image making the text in front of it almost impossible to read. Those are literally 2 examples of the mistakes in the video. And so it baffles me that someone can look at those rules, or mistakes as I called them, that they can't create a unique, great looking website anymore just because there are some rules to follow. Well, I'd like to talk about this. Can you really make a good looking, unique website while still following UX rules? Look at the website on the left. It looks better. The design is unique, it stands out, and it looks more modern and professional. But the website suffers from a poor user experience. The navigation is hidden away behind a button when it can easily be shown. I'll give you a link in the description about why this is bad. And there are animations that I'm forced to sit through, delaying the time it takes for me to consume the content. And now for the website on the right. It doesn't look as good, but it has a better user experience because the content and the links I need are right there, easily accessible. So the question is, what website is better? Can you even ask that question because websites are just some form of art? Well, yes, you can totally ask that question, and I would say the website on the right is better. Because the fundamental reason for a website to exist in the first place is to provide users with information. And the website on the right makes it easier for the user to get at that information, while the website on the left puts you through hurdles to get to the content, like clicking on the button to access the menu, or delaying the content behind all these animations you have to wait for. Now don't get me wrong, there are cases where having your website stand out, be flashy, and to be different is a valid goal, but you don't have to ruin user experience to get that. And that's what a lot of misinformed people in my comment section seem to think. That just because they're following some user experience guidelines and rules, that you can't create a unique, great website that stands out. You can totally get away with creating a great looking website while still following my 50 web design mistakes rules. In fact, every website I've shown you in this video follows those rules. So if you're one of those people who don't want to be constrained by the practices of good user experience just so you can have a unique website, you're just too lazy to create a design that satisfies both UI and UX. One question I want to explore is there a place for a website with a traditionally poor user experience to knowingly make all those user experience sacrifices in the name of standing out? You know, to have that much more of a unique website. I would say mostly no, but there are some cases. Take a look at this website, for example. It's bluemarinefoundation.com. It showcases the effects climate change has had on our oceans. Once you load in, you are presented with a button to begin. Once you click the button, it starts this kind of immersive experience, almost as if the text is 3D and right in front of you. After clicking another button, an animation begins taking you deeper into the experience. Then you get to a part where you use your scroll wheel to navigate through the 3D space, showing you some information along the way. So, do I think that something like this, where it doesn't follow traditional web design standards, is a problem? Well, because of its cutting edgeness, there will be a portion of people that land on this website that will simply not know how to, or have the time to use it to its designed extent. That's just the trade-off you have when creating something as edgy as this. But just because some users won't get it doesn't mean that the website is bad entirely. Because, and this is very important, because it's positioning itself like an interactive web infographic. It's like this fun little educational piece. This Ocean website does it perfectly because this isn't the actual website. This is their website. That interactive animation is just a page linked in the navigation. And so you can see their main website definitely looks more familiar, where you can actually scroll and scan for content easily with a navigation and a footer. A much better user experience for someone who wants content. Where the issue comes in is where if this interactive Ocean website were a business offering products or services. Because when there's conversions and money involved, you don't want to mess around with knowingly alienating a portion of your website's audience. Now, meet SI or shabanidrisu.com. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This website is also interactive and goes beyond the traditional format of a modern website. But the problem is, it's a business where he wants people to contact him. The website has this 3D wheel that turns as you use the scroll wheel on your mouse, showing his portfolio work and some very small, accessibility red flag small, text in between. This website wants to take away as much familiarity as possible that it doesn't even have a contact form, just a mail to link. He's offering the services of motion and interactive web development, which is what his website design reflects, and very effectively at that. But can you not do that in a more approachable and user-friendly way? Can you not let your portfolio speak for itself? It's these kind of websites that, in my opinion, push trying to stand out too far, to where your website becomes too unintuitive to use, that I have to put effort into thinking about it and figuring it out. You shouldn't want to put more hurdles in front of your potential customers than you need to. It's just going to mean less conversions and less customers in the end. But that's all just the theory and logic behind it. I would actually love to see this being put to the test with an A/B test. A website with the exact same information but displayed differently with user experience in mind versus the current website. I think the results would give a wake-up call to a lot of the boundary pushers out there who make these kind of extreme UX debilitating websites. All that being said, that's a more extreme example of pushing user experience. Most of the websites that I use as examples for mistakes use something like a slider or some ridiculously long animation. I think it just comes down to knowing how your design decisions will impact users. Just like my website, I have a slider on my website despite me telling everyone not to use a slider. Why? Because I use it knowing that there's a very significant percentage of users that won't click to the next slide, reading past that third review. But I've set it up in a way to where the website content doesn't rely on you clicking through that slider. Everything after it is just bonus content for people who want it. In the end, it's up to you to how far you want to push your design at the sacrifice of a smoother user experience. There is some room to push the aesthetic of your website, but just try to know some of the negative effects some decisions can have. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do some websites go too far? Do users find presentational websites easier to use than I think? Do you guys think I should get a new toaster? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and 20,000 subscribers.